Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. Domain 2.0 of the CompTIA A+ Core 1 exam introduces the essential networking knowledge that every IT support professional is expected to understand. This domain builds the foundation for configuring, troubleshooting, and maintaining networked environments. It covers the basics of wired and wireless technologies, networking protocols, hardware identification, IP addressing, and connectivity tools. Whether the scenario involves setting up a small office network or troubleshooting home Wi-Fi issues, the principles in this domain apply directly to practical support tasks and frequently appear in real-world service roles. The structure of Domain 2.0 includes a wide range of subtopics that touch on both theory and hands-on application. Subdomains include areas like network addressing, common ports and protocols, media types, and networking tools. Each subdomain includes vocabulary terms as well as configuration techniques. On the exam, questions might ask you to define a term, choose the correct configuration from a list, or analyze a scenario that involves troubleshooting a network issue. This balanced approach ensures candidates are tested on conceptual understanding and applied technical skills. A major part of this domain involves recognizing and understanding the roles of common networking devices. These include routers, switches, hubs, access points, and network interface cards. Knowing how to identify these devices, either in a diagram or through a description, is critical for supporting both wired and wireless networks. For example, understanding the difference between a switch and a hub could determine whether broadcast traffic is managed efficiently in a local area network. The exam may require selecting the appropriate device based on a scenario. Ports and protocols are fundamental to how devices communicate on a network. Protocols define the rules for data exchange, while ports specify the service being accessed. For example, HTTP uses port 80 and SMTP uses port 25. Understanding these associations is key for configuring firewalls, analyzing traffic, and solving access issues. On the A+ exam, expect to see questions that ask which port a service uses or which protocol handles a specific function, like email delivery or remote file access. Wireless networking is another heavily emphasized area. Candidates must understand the major 802.11 standards, including 802.11a, b, g, n, ac, and ax. Each standard operates on specific frequency bands and offers varying speeds and ranges. The exam will test your knowledge of wireless encryption standards, SSID configuration, and channel selection. Proper wireless configuration is critical for network security and performance, especially in home and small business environments, where misconfigured access points are a frequent support issue. IP addressing and subnetting are core components of network configuration. This includes understanding IPv4 and IPv6 address structures, identifying private versus public address ranges, and knowing how subnet masks function. You may also encounter questions about address classes and binary to decimal conversion. The exam covers both static and dynamic IP addressing, including the role of DHCP servers in automatic address assignment. Understanding these concepts allows technicians to configure hosts properly and resolve connectivity problems. Cabling knowledge is foundational for physical network setup. This includes identifying twisted pair, coaxial, and fiber optic cable types, as well as the connectors used for each. For example, RJ45 is used with twisted pair Ethernet cables, RG6 is used for coaxial, and LC connectors are common with fiber. On the exam, you may be asked to match a connector type with a cable, or describe the correct use of a particular media type. These concepts are also important in troubleshooting physical layer problems. Network topologies and connection types describe how devices are arranged and how they connect. Topologies such as star, mesh, bus, and hybrid are important for understanding the layout and fault tolerance of a network. In addition, connection types such as DSL, cable, and fiber refer to how devices access the internet or wide area networks. On the exam, candidates may be asked to identify a topology from a diagram or select the correct connection type based on a customer scenario. Basic networking tools are an important hands-on part of Domain 2.0. These tools include cable testers, crimpers, punch-down tools, loopback plugs, tone generators, and more. The exam may ask which tool is appropriate for identifying a faulty Ethernet cable or verifying a port's function. Understanding what each tool does and how it is used helps support field service roles and in-house hardware installation. These tools are also essential when setting up or diagnosing physical connections in structured cabling systems. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Media access control, or MAC addresses, are a foundational element in network communication. Every network interface card is assigned a unique MAC address, which functions as a hardware-level identifier for the device. MAC addresses are typically displayed in hexadecimal format and are used in RP tables, filtering rules, and device tracking across the network. On the A+ exam, candidates should understand the format of a MAC address, its purpose in local network communication, and how it differs from IP addressing in terms of scope and permanence. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, and Domain Name System, or DNS, are two of the most critical services in any network. DHCP automatically assigns IP addresses to devices on a network, allowing seamless client configuration without manual input. DNS converts human-readable domain names into IP addresses, enabling users to access websites using familiar URLs. Both services are required for normal Internet access. The exam may include questions about what happens when these services fail, or how to verify that they are functioning correctly. Basic network security is a recurring theme throughout this domain. Candidates are expected to understand the role of SSID broadcasting, encryption types like WPA2 and WPA3, and the function of firewalls in restricting or allowing traffic. Wireless security configuration may include disabling SSID broadcast, setting up secure passwords, and selecting the strongest available encryption standard. Scenario-based questions may test your ability to secure a wireless network or identify weak security settings that could be exploited. Network Address Translation, or NAT, and Default Gateway Configuration are also tested topics. NAT allows multiple devices in a private network to share a single public IP address by translating internal addresses for Internet access. The default gateway is typically the router that connects a local network to external destinations. These concepts help technicians understand how Internet traffic flows and what to look for when connectivity fails. The A+ exam may include diagram interpretation or real-world configuration scenarios. Candidates must be familiar with terms like bandwidth, latency, and throughput, as these relate directly to network performance. Bandwidth refers to the maximum data capacity of a connection, latency measures the delay in communication, and throughput represents the actual data successfully transmitted. Scenario questions may describe symptoms such as slow file transfers or lag in voice communication and require identification of the underlying metric affecting performance. Understanding these terms is key to diagnosing and resolving user complaints. Internet connection types are another area of focus in Domain 2.0. Technologies include DSL, cable, fiber, satellite, and cellular services. Each has unique characteristics in terms of speed, reliability, and latency. For instance, fiber offers high speed and low latency, while satellite provides wide coverage but suffers from high latency. The exam may ask candidates to recommend an internet type for a rural location or identify the limitations of a specific service. Comparing connection types ensures proper support and configuration recommendations. Virtual private networks, or VPNs, and remote access technologies are increasingly important in mobile and enterprise environments. A VPN creates an encrypted tunnel between a user's device and a trusted network, protecting data during transmission. Remote desktop allows users to access another computer's interface over the Internet. These tools require proper authentication and configuration. The exam may include questions about enabling remote access, configuring VPN software, or troubleshooting connection errors. Cloud networking and virtualization concepts also appear under Domain 2.0, especially when discussing hosted services. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service all describe different levels of hosted computing environments. These services reduce the need for on-premise infrastructure and allow devices to access applications and data from anywhere. Understanding how cloud-based systems interact with local networks is key for troubleshooting hybrid environments and supporting distributed users. Together, the topics in Domain 2.0 form a comprehensive foundation for networking knowledge at the entry level. Candidates are expected to understand configuration and troubleshooting procedures for both wired and wireless networks, identify devices and protocols, use basic tools, and secure common network types. These skills are essential not just for passing the A+ exam, but for providing practical IT support in offices, homes, and mobile settings. Mastery of Domain 2.0 prepares technicians for real-world connectivity challenges. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.